let's talk about Joyride. So I caught this film, an early preview on Saturday, and my expectations were so high because people were saying, oh, it's the funniest film of the year and it's one of the best films of the year. And so my expectations were super duper high. And I did like the trailer, but it takes so long to get going and to really deliver the jokes. It takes about 30 minutes to really get going. And they really were begging for the joke. And when they're begging for the joke, it just does not, it falls flat for me. I think jokes should be more natural. I'm a product of like the 80s when comedies were really funny and are still funny to this day. Like you could laugh at Airplane to this day. You could laugh at Uncle Buck to this day, and Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. Those jokes, because they were not begging for the laugh, it just was very natural and people got it, and it was sustainable. This film, the jokes are not going to last. Now, there are some funny bits, but even those were really, they were punched up too much where it was forcing a reaction because it was so over the top and seemed to lampoon certain situations. And I thought it was trying to be too much like Girls Trip. One of the brilliant things about Girls Trip, because Girls Trip was written many years before it was even released, but it was still funny. But what helps Girls Trip is the fact that these girls, other than Tiffany Haddish, these actors knew each other for many years and were friends. So the chemistry was there. The same with Bridesmaids. A lot of those actors worked together and are friends and knew each other. So the chemistry really worked and they know how to pull the joke from each other, even in improv. This didn't have any elements of improvisation. It felt so forced. And you can tell that it was somewhat trying to patent the chemistry of Girls Trip too much. And some of the story beats tried to follow that. And so I think in that way, it didn't have its own identity because I kept thinking, oh, this is one of the bits from Girls Trip. It does get funny eventually, but it takes a lot of patience to really get there. Now, Stephanie Sue, the Oscar nominee, Stephanie Sue, does steal a couple of scenes. She was good. And you can tell that Sabrina Wu has this energy of Aquafina. It seems like she was pulling off the Aquafina bit and it didn't really translate. And Sherry Cola, she had some really great bits too. And of course, Ashley Park was supposed to be, the heart of the story. There are some really funny bits in this film where, like the hotel scene, with Baron Davis, and I won't spoil it because it is going to be going wide this weekend, and I do recommend seeing it. Maybe you'll love it, but especially if you haven't seen Girls Trip or Bridesmaids, maybe you'll love it. I don't know. It just, my expectations was way too high. If you lower your expectations, you might love it. But it follows these four friends as they take a trip of a lifetime to China to not only for the lawyer, played by Ashley Park, to land this really lucrative client, this deal for her law firm, for her boss, so that she can make partner, but also to feel her roots and meet her mother, who put her up for adoption some few decades ago. So that's that. Very simplistic. And what is supposed to make this film work is the fact that she is hanging out with her crazy friends. 100 times you've seen this story, but it just doesn't always work. And then there's this big set piece that's so unrealistic where they do this scene. It's like a knockoff of WAP, and they're supposed to be like these K-pop stars so that they can get to Korea because that's where her mom really lives. It's too over the top, and over the top in a way where it's not very funny. It kind of falls flat, and it falls flat because they're begging for the joke. Huge mistake. Will you laugh? Yes, you'll laugh. It'll take some time and patience to get there, but you will laugh. Is this sustainable for the runtime? It's quick. This is a quick movie. I mean, I didn't notice the time. I'll be honest. I didn't notice the time. I really wanted to love this film, so I didn't notice the time going by, but it really did. It didn't meet my expectations. The runtime is a quick 95 minutes, and the ending, though, I mean, it's just not funny. Can I be honest? Can we talk? It's not funny. Now, Adele Lim, who co-wrote this film, also wrote Crazy Rich Asians and Raya and the Last Dragon. She's written for Private Practice and Lethal Weapon. Like, she is a big deal. I don't think the jokes worked in this particular screenplay, in this particular movie. But again, you will laugh. There are some really big set pieces that are funny, and then there are some that just fall flat, low key, but you will laugh. It's a good time here and there. I suggest seeing it. I definitely recommend seeing it in the theater to support, but lower your expectations for sure. At any rate, Joyride will be released in theaters this weekend.